Morning, everyone. I say morning. I don't know when you're going to be watching it. It's morning for me. It's 9 o'clock on a Thursday. And I realised I haven't checked in for a while. So I wanted to do that. And I'm just going to put a little disclaimer at the start of this, that if you're a friend of mine or a member of my family, then don't watch this, please, because I think it might be a bit of a difficult watch. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to watch it. For everybody else, it is probably going to be a bit of a difficult watch, I think, and I'm going to try to keep my emotions in check, but I don't know whether I'm going to be able to. And the reason I'm recording this isn't for self-indulgence or for a look at me type thing. It's because if anybody else finds themselves in my position or a similar position, then I want them to know that they're not alone and that other people have gone through similar things, and that, you know, it's normal. Basically, that's what I want to do is make sure people know that it's normal. And the reason I'm recording this is to say that we're now a year, I think, since I was diagnosed, and I still don't think I've really accepted the diagnosis. I mean, I have on a basic level, in so much as, you know, I tell people that I've got the disease and that I've had treatment for it in the Lemtrada and things like that. But I think I'm really struggling with the mental health side of the whole conversation surrounding it, because I think, look, life is stressy. Life's stressy for everybody. That's the nature of the beast. I get that. And I think that I think I've just been in denial over a lot of things regarding this. And the reality of the situation has hit me square on over the last week or so, I think. And I think a lot of that is down to, for example, the eye operation that I had that gave me single vision. The Botox injection gave me single vision, but it's not good single vision. It's not great. It goes for any number of reasons. It goes if I get a bit hot. It goes if I'm a bit stressed. It goes if I'm hungry. And I think the reality that at least in the short term is as good as it gets is quite upsetting. And then along with that comes the reality that I'm just surviving. I'm just surviving at the moment. I've lost I think, that connection to life. That means that I feel like I enjoy anything anymore. And because of my own foolishness, absolutely my own foolishness, before I got diagnosed, I got myself into a bit of a financial pickle in terms of, you know, getting myself into debt with loans and credit cards and blah, blah, blah. And I've now got myself on the straight and narrow in that front, and I'm paying off the loans and all that sort of thing. But it means that basically every penny that I earn is about paying off all of those things, and will be for the next probably 5 years. And I can still do stuff in that. I went on holiday, last month and things like that. But there's a huge financial burden put on my wife because of that. That she has to pick up the pieces, essentially, of my lack of financial stability. And because I'm self-employed, every week I start from zero. And I have to work really, really very hard to get enough money to pay the bills and all of that sort of thing. And that includes paying Rachel what I can for the house and for holidays and all that sort of stuff. And that becomes really difficult then. That becomes a real problem when you're struggling to see the fun in life, really. And I think that the biggest criticism I have of the MS nurses and all that sort of stuff is that when you speak to them about this sort of thing, about the mental health side, they just say, oh, you could speak to some charities, they do things, MS UK does stuff, the MS Society does stuff. They're not willing to take any responsibility to try to point you in the right direction of somebody that might be able to help, which is quite difficult, because over the past year, there have been times where I've had suicidal thoughts, and I've always said and absolutely maintained that I'll never commit suicide. I'd never do that. I'd never do that to my family or to my friends. But that doesn't make the battle against those thoughts any easier. Knowing that I have no plans to go anywhere and won't make any plans to go anywhere. Knowing that I firmly believe that the entire point of the enterprise is to keep going, it doesn't make it any easier to say that in dealing with the thoughts and problems that I've had along the way. And so it becomes a grind. And I did speak to somebody through one of the charities. I spoke to them every Friday for I think 4 weeks or 5 weeks. But a telephone thing is different. And I think also when you speak to somebody like that, you make your own excuses for things. You say, I've been quite stressed, but it's because of this, and it's because of that, and there's some truth in that. We've moved house recently. We've got a puppy who's a bit of a nightmare, and there are several reasons why the stress is there. But having reasons doesn't make it any easier, really. And it becomes a slog, and knowing what to do and where to turn is difficult. And just look, you've just got to keep going. That's what I'm trying to say to anybody else who ever feels similar to me, in a similar boat or on a similar emotional level. You just keep going, and you see what tomorrow brings, and you keep fighting. And it is a fight. It is a battle. But you just keep going. You keep battling, you keep fighting, you keep trying to find your way through. And it will be better. I know it will be for me. I think it's really difficult to acknowledge that might not be for 5 years till I've cleared my debts and all that sort of thing. And 5 years feels like an awful long way away right now. But you just have to keep going, because something will shift. I know that. I feel that. I don't know. Don't know what that will be. And I hope, I suppose, that one of the things that will shift is the disconnect I feel at the moment from life. To mean that I'm just playing the part at the moment of somebody who's living. I'm doing the things that you do. I'm going to events. I'm getting on with things. I'm doing what I'm asked, and I'm laughing. You know, I am laughing, but it's that old thing of, you know, just because somebody's laughing doesn't mean they're not having a turmoil of their own on the inside. And I think that you've just got to keep fighting the battle that you can, and trying to find the help that you need. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to find the help that I need. And we'll see where we end up. But it's not easy. And I think if you're suffering yourself right now and you've stumbled across my videos, then just keep going and find your own way of making it through. You don't have to listen to what other people say. You don't listen to what I say. You don't have to do what I do. You have to find your own way through. That's the key, I would say. And if you know somebody that's suffering, if you know somebody that's going through something like this, then I would say, you know, just be there for them. You don't need to constantly check on them. You don't need to ask them what's up. You don't need to do any of those things. Just be there for them and let them know you're around, and ask them what help you can give them, if any at all. But don't try and force the issue, because people will talk when they're ready. People will talk in their own time. But right now, in my own battle, I'm just hoping something changes. I'm just hoping there's a shift. And we'll wait and see what comes next. And there will be a next, because there's been a next on every other stage of this adventure. So that's it, really. I just wanted to check in and to let you know that it's a battle, and it's really. I'm sorry that this perhaps isn't very comfortable watching, but I just want you to know, if you're suffering, that you're not alone, and that it's not abnormal that people suffer. And the important thing is to just keep on going, because tomorrow will bring something different eventually. And you know what? Some days that might be something worse, but some days it'll be something better. So that's it. Just keep going.